All right, welcome to the Parlay Giveaway. I am your host, Joe Cortez, and this is episode 1. It's a long time coming. Holy shit. I dropped the intro on YouTube last week, and it got a whole 17 views, which is 17 more than I thought it was going to do, and I got 2 subscribers. So if I keep this rate up in 100 years, I should have about, 600,000 subscribers. Did I do that right? I don't know. Holy shit. But it's, listen, I'm happy with it. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep on dropping episodes every week. And I'm going to be talking about who to bet on, right? And the first big contest that we're going to do is going to be UFC 244 Madison Square Garden. I'm super excited about this fight. Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal. And the fucking main card is amazing. And that's exactly what I'm going to talk about right now. But before I do that, don't forget to follow Parlay Giveaway on Instagram and comment your Cash App tag name to be eligible to win half of my winnings. All right, so I'm going to match 50% of my winnings. I'm going to just give it to some random follower who comments their Cash App tag name. All right, let's do it. Let's go. Let's jump right into it. Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal. Kelvin Gastellum versus Darren Till. Stephen Thompson versus Vincent Luque. And Kevin Lee versus Gregor Gillespie. Those are the 4 fights that I'm going to be betting on. And it's going to be a crazy, crazy night of fights. So the first one I'd like to talk about is Kevin Lee versus Gregor Gillespie. Gregor Gillespie is a goddamn beast. He is 13-0. He's a D1 national champ from Edinburgh, I believe. He trains out of Long Island. And if you don't know, Strong Island has some really, really good wrestling. Some of the best wrestling in the world. And they just make a good product out there. I wrestled in New York my whole life. And I'm from the city. And we had tournaments out. And, I wrestled for Truman High School back in the Dynasty days. Shout out to Mike Ondich. Coach Ondich was the man. Traveled the world because of that guy wrestling. But in high school, we were, for a city team, we were pretty damn good. We're definitely the best in the city and one of the best in the state. And we'd give a lot of teams a tough time when we went out of the city to wrestle in other sections. But whatever. I know that Long Island always comes strong with their wrestling. So Gregor Gillespie ended up wrestling for Edinburgh, became a D1 national champion. He's now undefeated in the UFC, 13-0, and he's still training out of Long Island, I believe Belmore Kickboxing Academy. So, beast. He's going up against Kevin Lee, who's had a rough go, right? He got submitted by Tony Ferguson. Then he lost to Iaquinta, and then lost to Dos Anjos at 170. He bumped up to 170, ended up getting submitted. He's a dangerous. Don't let that fool you. I hate that. Oh, he's on the three fight losing streak, so he's done. He lost to some of the best fighters in the world. He still can bring the smoke. And this is gonna be if Kevin can stop Gregor's wrestling. Now, even if he does, I don't know if Kevin's gonna be able to pull it off. And I'm just going off of what his fight with Iaquinta, who's a good wrestler, not Gregor Gillespie, a good wrestler, and he pieced him up on standing up. So and I know this is MMA math, but if that's any indication of what might to come, Gregor Gillespie is going to beat him. If this was a 5-round fight, I'd reconsider. If Kevin Lee can take him into deep waters, because nobody knows Gregor's gas tank. Nobody. But if he can take, Gregor into deep waters, 4th or 5th round, then maybe he has a shot. But this is a 3-round fight. D1 national champ. He has gas. He can go. And I think he's going to be able to take Kevin down. I think he's going to finish him in the 2nd or 3rd round. And then he's off to the races for Gregor. Off to the races. I mean, goddamn. If you don't, and this is for the MMA hardcore fan, Gregor Gillespie versus Khabib Nurmagomedov is a fucking insane fight. Insane. Oh, Gregor has to prove himself. Yeah, well, if he beats Kevin Lee, he's proven himself. That's it. He's off to the races. Who else would you want him to? I'd like to see that fight. You know, that's a dangerous fight for Khabib. Very dangerous, and I get it. I get it. I don't want to get too much into it, but because I'm gonna get attacked, and like I always do, especially amongst my friends. And if I do get attacked on YouTube, that's great. That means people are listening. That it's awesome. All right, but I think Gregor's the favorite. I think Gregor's gonna pull it off. So I'm gonna put my parlay bet number 1 on Gregor Gillespie. Boom. So now let's go right into the second fight. Stephen Thompson versus Vincent Luque. Vincent Luque had a banger with Mike Perry. Right? Is that right? Vincent Luque and Mike Perry were the ones that fought last. That was Luque's last fight. That was Luque's last fight? Yeah. So, man, dude, that was a crazy fight. That was a bloody one. Stephen Thompson got finished by Anthony Pettis too. Ooh, so Stephen Thompson's coming off of a loss against Anthony Pettis. Vincent Luque's coming off of a win from Mike Perry, right? Is that right? Yeah. I don't know why. Mike Perry, though, huh? Don't. Crazy boy. So he's that kid's a beast. He went the distance with Mike Perry, and that was a crazy fight. But this is a big test for Vincent Luque. I mean, Mike Perry's a really good fighter, but Stephen Thompson, let's not forget. I know he just got KO'd by Anthony Pettis, but he was not too long ago fighting for the title twice against Tyron Woodley, one of the best to ever do it. Let's not forget that. So Stephen Thompson versus Vincent Luque, I'm going to go with Thompson, and this is why. Thompson's coming off of that knockout loss. He has a strong team, again, out of Long Island, and I feel like Stephen Thompson has to redeem Weidman's loss. I just see this putting that pressure on him so that he will perform. So I just see it. I just see Stephen Thompson coming through. I think it's going to go the distance. And Stephen Thompson, unanimous decision over Vincent. I don't think Luke is going to be able to catch him. Luque, I wish I knew how to say his last name the right way because I don't want to be disrespectful to these guys. But so Vincent Luque, I think it just goes the distance. Stephen Thompson is going to go back. I think he made a mistake against Pettis, and I think he's going to fix that mistake. And that's it. He's not going to let that happen again. He's going to learn from his past mistakes, and then that's it. I think he could finish Luque. I think he can finish Luque. That's if that knockout didn't affect him too much, and he's still be able to bite down on the mouthpiece and fucking go, because his whole style, he doesn't really get hit that much, but when he does get hit, he goes down. We saw that with Tyron, and we saw that with Pettis. So if he can do his little, I think it's going to be one of those typical Stephen Thompson fights where he's just going to karate point him until the third round's over and he just gets a decision. That's it. But this Luque kid's a fucking beast. He's a fucking beast. Yeah, so right now we have Gregor Gillespie, right? Number 2, we're going with Stephen Thompson. That's it. We got to pick one. Well, there's got to be a winner and there's got to be a loser. If anybody tells you that fucking betting's easy and that they always win, that's what I think of that person. Oh, my success rate is... Shut up. I don't care. Right? This is the parlay giveaway. Parlays are hard to hit, but I do hit them sometimes. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and be like, oh, I hit all the parlays. I go through my streaks just like anybody else, right? And I'm just putting a small little bet on this, $50 probably for these 4 fighters. All right, so let's go right into it for the number 3. Kelvin Gastellum versus Darren Till. Ooh. Darren Till got knocked out by Masvidal, and Kelvin Gastelum's coming off of that 5-round fucking banger against Adesanya, Stylebender. Ooh, boy. And Kelvin is a nasty motherfucker, right? Ain't he? I just don't see Darren Till being able to pull this off. I think he's going up a weight because the weight cuts was horrendous for him. I don't think he's filled out yet for that weight class. I think it's going to be a better cut for him. Obviously, I know he walks around over 200. That's what everybody says. But he was getting knocked out at 170. Like, we're seeing this with Rockhold. We're seeing this with Weidman, right? There's that middle ground, man. That maybe there needs to be more weight classes, but 170 to 185, man. That's a big fucking jump. And Kelvin Gastellum, man, he just looks like he had 2 slices of pizza and is ready to fucking go. I don't think. I mean, he doesn't really want to cut weight, and he's ready to fucking go. He's ready to throw down. And the kid has fucking nasty power. And, oh, don't forget, he can wrestle his ass off. D1 wrestler from Arizona, I believe. So let's not forget that. Kelvin Gastelum's nasty motherfucker. Nasty motherfucker. I think he touches Darren Till and he goes down. Second round. Second round, he figures out Darren Till, and he puts him down. First round's going to go back and forth, right? Darren Till might catch him, and then Gastelum's going to try to wrestle him. Maybe. Second round, Gastelum touches Till. Till goes out. You know what I remember? This is all I can remember. Even though Weidman beat Gastelum, I remember Gastelum catching him at the end of, I think, the second or third round, or I forget which round, or the first round maybe, and fucking Weidman's face was turning into mush. Weidman came back, though, used his wrestling and his jiu-jitsu, which Darren Till doesn't do. Darren Till just fucking stands up and strikes. So we'll see. But I think Gastelum, who's a heavy favorite now, I think he's in the minus 200s now. A lot of people are putting money in Gastelum to win this. And I think they're right. That's going to be a great fight, though. This is a great card. Now let's go into the main event. Woo! The main event. Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal. Now, Nate Diaz coming off of that Anthony Pettis win. Fights sparingly now. Taking the big name fights. Jorge Masvidal. Jesus Christ. Jorge Masvidal coming off of that Darren Till knockout. This is a huge fight. And just for everything that Nate Diaz did for this sport, let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about CBD, right? Smoking after his fight from the vape pen, right? And then USADA changes the rules. USADA changes the rules for that. I don't know the specifics, but I remember the guy from USADA on Rogan talking about it. Like, yeah, we changed it because of Nate Diaz. And now this mishap this week where everybody was freaking out because Nate Diaz opens his notes app on his iPhone and types up, hey, I ain't fighting because bullshit from USADA and the UFC. They're trying to say that, I have elevated levels and they want me to keep quiet. Fuck that. I'm not going to do that. I don't trust them. So they better clear my name and then I'll fight, which is a gangster move. And guess what they did? They cleared that motherfucker's name and now he is fighting. Right? And then you got the jokers, right? Eddie Alvarez coming out like with the all laughing faces. Hey, Nate Diaz is on steroids, right? And then Dustin Poirier is about to get surgery or coming out of surgery with his phone, calling them fake gangsters. I know what they're doing, of course, trying to get that fight. And then I saw Dustin call out Nick Diaz. The drugs need to wear off on that kid, But Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal. Nate Diaz, what he did for this sport, just after he beat Conor is amazing. It's amazing. He's a fucking superstar. And I'm done with this Conor guy. He needs to get his act together. I'm done with him. I've been done with him. Actually. I mean, great fighter, obviously. But I think, honestly, bad for the sport. And that's just my opinion. I'm not here to interview fighters. I'm never going to interview fighters. I'm just talking about betting. And I think he's bad for the sport. If you want the sport to grow, you can't ever let what Conor McGregor did to this sport happen ever again. And ever again. Of course you can have personalities. But the control that he got, no good. No good. And it's gonna be interesting who he's gonna fight. On January 18th, I think he said he's coming back. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets that if he gets that Donald Cerrone, Justin Gaethje winner, and I think Gaethje's gonna win that fight. If he gets Gaethje on January 18th in Vegas, woo! I think every time Conor lost, it's been the submission. I think you might see Conor get knocked the fuck out. I think Gaethje just fucking let's go, you know. And he's been a different fighter his last 3 or 4 fights. It's let's go. So that's going to be an interesting one. Anyway, let's get back to Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal. Jorge Masvidal, the fucking, I don't even want to say journeyman. That's disrespectful to the OG Jorge Masvidal. You know, he's been doing the damn thing. You know, what he did to Askren, what he did to Till. Woo. Who's more deserving of a fight like this than Jorge Masvidal? That's it. And if he beats Nate Diaz, which I don't think I said my pick yet, but if he beats Nate Diaz, title fight. Title fight. Give it to him. He should not fight another fight unless it's Conor McGregor, because it's the money fight, because you have all those casuals out there that will buy that fight, which rightfully so. I mean, Conor did a great job marketing himself. I just it's bad for the sport. That's all I'm saying. It's good for Conor, bad for the sport overall. But damn, man, if he gets that Conor fight, if he beats Nate Diaz, he can still grab that Conor fight. Or if he loses to Nate Diaz, he can still get that Conor fight. But definitely, if he beats Nate, he should get the title fight, and he shouldn't fight another fight until he gets that title fight. Because I just don't see Usman holding that title for too long. I just don't. I see, honestly. Hi, Colby Covington. We'll get into that in a little bit, but actually, let's get into it right now. Colby Covington is gonna beat Usman. Done. I don't care what the spread is. My money's going on Colby Covington. It just is, man. The kid puts too much pressure on himself to not perform, and he performs. Is he a dick? Is that heel act a dick act? Yes. Do I hate that act? Yes. It's terrible, and this is what I'm talking about. This is what Conor did for the sport. This is why people are acting the way they're doing, and listen. People are gonna buy the fights now because of that. But as a sport, though, unless it's real, it's just, to me, it's corny. I can't watch it, and it bothers me. Just like with what Henry Cejudo's doing. Henry Cejudo's an excellent fighter, but he's doing this fucking act, and it's fucking bothering me. I don't watch the WWE, and it's for a reason. It's that cornball acting bullshit that they do, and it just fucking bothers me. So I don't want to see any of that. So yeah, Colby Covington is going to beat Usman. But let's get back again. Let's get back to Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal. Did I say who I was going to pick yet? I don't know yet. But let's make this pick right now. Nate Diaz. I think Nate Diaz, standing up, can throw down with the best of them, right? Right. Obviously, he's gonna look for that lead leg kick. He's gonna look, but he's gonna pressure Jorge. He's gonna look. Jorge's gonna piece him up. He's gonna back up. Nate Diaz is gonna back up. Then again, move forward for 5 fucking rounds. And in the 4th and 5th round, this is what I see. This fight's going the distance. Jorge Masvidal is gonna win the 1st and 3rd round, and Nate Diaz is gonna win the 2nd, 4th, and 5th round. Might even finish him in the 5th. Might even finish him in the 5th. I think Nate Diaz's ground game is excellent, better than Jorge Masvidal's, and just as far as cardio goes and everything like that, I think Nate Diaz wins it. Has Nate Diaz been knocked out yet? I don't think so. So you're gonna have to bring the smoke to you have to bring fucking a 45 to stop Nate Diaz. This guy is unstoppable as far as being finished in fights. Yeah, he'll lose decisions, but he's going the distance, and so is Jorge. And I think Nate Diaz just squeaks it out. 4th and 5th round are gonna be huge for Nate Diaz. He's gonna pick it up, and if Jorge Masvidal can keep up, God bless. We'll see though. This is going to be a great, great, great fight. So there you have it, people. All right, don't forget, again, go to Parlay Giveaway on Instagram. comment your Cash App tag name to be eligible to win 50% of my winnings if we win this bet. Again, I'll do it. I'll go over it again. Nate Diaz, Kelvin Gastellum, Stephen Thompson, and Gregor Gillespie for the wins. And whatever the bet, I'm going to put $50 down. I think it pays out $600 right now. I like to wait for the weigh-ins to make these bets. Okay, so the one on deck is going to be Derek Lewis versus Iganov. I think that's the fight. So that's the on deck fight. We'll see how it goes. All right, but that's my time here. Parlay giveaway. Peace.